comic book fans, and welcome to another exciting edition of Cammy's Comic Corner. I'm your host, as always, Cammy. Now, despite it being a very dull and kind of small week for comics, I was able to find a pick of the week and a Fast Five. I know, I'm amazing like that. But enough about how amazing I am. Let's get on to the pick of the week. From Vertigo Comics, we have The Sandman, the Dream Hunters #1, written by Neil Gaiman and art by P. Craig Russell. Now, before I get into the comic, I just want to have a little disclaimer that this was actually a novel by Neil Gaiman, and it's later, in its present form, adapted into comic book form with beautiful, beautiful art by P. Craig Russell. Now, the story revolves around a monk and his little temple. And for some reason, everyone wants this temple. So it starts off between a wager between a fox and a badger to see who can make the monk leave, therefore receiving the land and the temple. Well, Badger starts off first. He tries to come as a horde of angry warriors and tell the monk, "Hey, get off this land or else we're going to kill you." Monk goes, okay, just answer one question for me. Why does that horse have the tail of a badger? And the badger's been found out. Fox's turn next. She transforms herself into a beautiful woman, struggling out in the rain, says, "Hey, I'm a princess, and these ruffians are after me, and you gotta help me, but you must flee with me before they come and kill us." Monk says, "Okay, well, before we go, one question. Why do your eyes look so much like a fox's?" And turns out, the fox is found out, and she runs away. Badger finally tries one more trick of coming as an angry horde of all these monsters out of the forest saying, "We're gonna gut you and kill you, and we want this temple." And by this point, the monk's like, "Alright, enough already." Takes a torch, whisks away the demons, and then just chucks it at the badger, burning its tail, making the badger run away in shame. And we found out that the fox is actually in love with the monk, and that's kind of a aw, but you know, they can never really be together because she's a fox, he's a monk. But while in the woods one day, the fox overhears a couple of oni, or Japanese ghosts and ghouls, talking about how they're gonna take this monk's land by killing him. First, they're gonna have 3 dreams involving a black box, a black key, and when the monk opens the box, he'll be trapped in that world and die in reality. Fox can't let this happen, so she takes her most prized possession, a jade dragon, and tosses it into the ocean. And her counsel with the Sandman, which is also in the form of a fox, comes to be. He explains what the Baku are, and says that they're dream eaters, and if they were to latch onto your dreams, they would eat them. So the fox wants one of these Baku, because if she can get a Baku, then she can get rid of the nasty dreams the Oni are going to put into the monk's mind. Tune in next issue to find out if Fox does it. Or, you know, go and actually buy the book, read ahead, and go, okay, that's how it ends. I no longer have to follow this series. P. Craig Russell's art is phenomenal in this book. And just every little detail is what really helped push this book to the pick of the week spot. Now on to the Fast Five.
Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker!
First up from DC Comics, we have Final Crisis Resist #1. Now this is written by the Checkmate team of Rucka and Troutman. This one-shot takes place with Checkmate, and mainly Mr. Terrific, Tapper and Cheetah. Now the whole Omega anti-life equation has been going around, and everyone has been transformed into Darkseid's minions. Snapper and Mr. Terrific are safely inside a panic room in Checkmate headquarters, Snapper being able to teleport in and out for medical supplies, food, etc. Well, he comes across Cheetah, and turns out she's in need of some help as well. After an awkward moment of passion and love between Snapper and Cheetah, is it considered furry? Anyway. They finally discover back at Checkmate headquarters that the only way to get rid of all these anti-life equation, mindless Darkseid zombies is to reactivate the Omax, and the only person who's able to is Sasha Bordeaux. Might kill her, but Mr. Terrific's willing to take that chance. Interesting issue. You know, at least it's a step up from some of the other Final Crisis tie-ins, or, you know, Final Crisis in general. I'll be interested to see how this plays out. Omax versus Darkseid's minions. Didn't we see that already in, like, Countdown or something? Anyway. Next up from Marvel Entertainment, we have the Invincible Iron Man #7. Now, the only reason I picked this was it was a nice little Spider-Man/Iron Man team-up, where they went around, stopped some bad guys, and had witty banter between them. Peter Parker is doing a story on Tony Stark's little corporation, Stark Industries, might have heard about it, for the Frontline newspaper, the newspaper he's currently working for. But I don't know if it's because of the brand new day mix-up that Tony Stark doesn't know who Spider-Man is. He doesn't know that he's Peter Parker under the mask. That doesn't really sit well with me because, you know, Tony Stark and Peter were best friends on the road to Civil War. Like, he was staying at Stark Industries Enterprises and everything. And Tony Stark even made him the Scarlet Spider suit. Anyway, despite that little nitpick, it was a very fun team-up book, and, you know, Spider-Man and Iron Man. If you want the good old nostalgia, pick up this issue. Next up, from Dark Horse Entertainment, we have Gigantic #1. Now, this is being written by Rick Remender, and if you know Rick Remender, he likes the sci-fi stuff. Check out his Fear Agent series, for example. It's pretty kick-ass. Anyway, we're introduced to a Douglas Adams type situation. Douglas Adams of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy fame, where we have this alien race, thousands of years ago, built the Earth and the human being species, Homo sapiens, for a kind of an entertainment program, like television, as it were. Well, you know, ratings were kind of down, and not much is happening. The aliens are losing viewers, till all of a sudden, this giant robot appears out of nowhere, possibly from another dimension or another planet, followed by its, you know, prison guards trying to hunt him down. Anyway, destruction, chaos is going through the city, and everyone's freaking out. And finally, according to the aliens, shit just got interesting. So, it's a TV show, it was boring, giant robot appears out of nowhere, and now it's exciting all of a sudden. Interesting premise. It was fun. It was fun. I'll just say that. And, you know, I'll stick around maybe for issues 2 and 3 just to see where it takes off from there. Next up from DC, we have Secret Six #3. Now, the Secret Six's mission is to take Tarantula back to Gotham. But before they do that, she has to pick up a card. We finally found out in this issue what the card is for. It's a Get Out of Hell free card, making, you know, it very valuable to every supervillain in the Tri-County area. And sure enough, villains are after them to get that card and bring it back to their master, or just stab each other in the back for that card. Cheetah also makes an appearance in this issue, but it's kind of weird because she has a tail in this one, and back in Final Crisis Resist #1, she doesn't have a tail. Even on the front cover of Resist, she has a tail, but on the interior art, no tail whatsoever. It's kind of weird. I don't know if they wanted to freak people out by, you know, oh, look, Snapper Carr's having sex with a cheetah, half woman, half cheetah, but, you know, it's not going to be weird because she doesn't have a tail. Yeah, it would be too weird. That'd just get in the way. Very interesting. But yeah, Secret Six, fun as usual, Gail Simone, good. And finally this week, from Marvel, we have Submariner, The Depths #3. Peter Milligan continues to make one of the creepiest comic books in my most recent memory. The team, led by Dr. Stein, who had that weird dream of Namor last time, he kind of goes crazy, but, you know, they retrieve him back to the submarine, and they find the Marinus Trench outpost. And no one's answering the door. So, you know, as soon as they get into the outpost, they find seawater everywhere, but that's impossible because if the outpost was leaking, it would just crumble like a can. Just one leak. Turns out the entire crew's been slaughtered, and they have no idea who did it. All that's left as evidence is a rolling camera. So Dr. Stein in the movie room, he sees what's on the footage. He sees the captain in charge talking on his own movie. Then there's a vicious attack all of a sudden. And the last panel, all we see from the movie is a still of a winged foot. And it is fucking creepy! Oh my god! I can't remember being this creeped out by a comic before. Asad Ribick's art is helping make this book rather creepy. And I applaud the creative team on this for keeping me hooked and coming back every month buying this issue. Because, let me tell you, if you want a creepy book starring Namor, pick up Submariner, The Depths #3. Or 1 through 3, for that matter. Well, that does it for Cammy's Comic Corner this week. If you want to be our friend, go ahead and go to www.cammyscomiccorner.com. From there, you can subscribe to us on RSS feed, on iTunes, or just go to the forums and chat about this episode here, chat about previous episodes, yada yada yada. So until next week, I've been Cammy. This has been Cammy's Comic Corner, and you have a magnificent, marvelous, wonderful, exciting week.